there's never going to be a revolution in the United States. There's never going to be a civil war. That's a fantasy that a lot of people have. It's never going to happen. How do I know? Just turn on the radio. Just turn on the television. Go watch movies. Turn on Netflix. See, there's a chemistry to resistance, to revolution, and so on. But look, what are we actually talking about with resistance? What is resistance? It's a reaction. A revolution is a reaction, and there's a chemistry to that. A chemistry that determines what the reaction will be. Whether the reaction will be combustion or reduction. You know, if it's going to be flammable or not, if it's going to be explosive or not, whether the reaction generates heat or cold or what have you. You know, in America, you may have some elements that would normally be explosive when they're mixed. But other elements are in that mixture that cause the opposite reaction. So you have those elements in America for revolution. You have the elements for civil war. But you have too many other elements that are there to ensure that the mixture remains stable. I mean, you have conditions in America that if those same conditions existed elsewhere, that society would erupt. But you're not going to have any eruption in America, except a controlled explosion, you know, like when the police find a bomb, discover a bomb, and detonate it themselves. That's the only kind of explosion that you're ever going to have in the United States at this point. And like I said, all you have to do is turn on the radio to know this. All you have to do is look at their popular media to know this. Because a people capable of revolution has to be a people capable first of imagination. They have to be creative people. In order to have a revolution, you have to have independent thought. You have to have independent thinkers. People who can't think for themselves are never going to revolt. You can't have mental homogeneity across the society where that homogeneity is overseen and imposed by the power structure, and ever expect for that society to rise up against the power structure. And nothing illustrates the absence of imagination, the absence of creativity, the absence of independent thought than your popular media. A society without real art is a society incapable of revolution. And your art is vapid, and it enforces vapidness. That's the relationship between art and society. It reflects and it affects. It expresses how you feel, and it tells you how to feel. And you have become, in America, a people with no artistic language, no vocabulary. You're deprived of even what art is supposed to be for you. More and more of your words are being removed from your artistic lexicon with every passing day. Every day, your music gets more formulaic. Your films get more repetitive. Your literature gets more simplistic, to the point that an AI computer program can produce your songs, produce your scripts, and your books. Your creative lexicon is shrinking until you're like a toddler who has no words to identify or to articulate or to understand or to express what he's feeling, what he wants, what he's afraid of, what he's happy about, what he's sad about, so on and so on. You're deprived of the language of human complexity. Because look, take music. Now, as Muslims, we have our own views about music. But the fact is, it's a major factor in the culture of the West. Well, 2 or 3 people write the majority of the top 40 songs in America. The same chord progressions, the same auto-tuned vocals, the same repetitive hooks get recycled over and over and over again. Pop music today is not meant to express anything authentic, anything real. It's meant to be an earworm, designed to be addictive, to be used in TikTok videos, to go viral. It's a product, not an art form. It's assembly line manufacturing for maximum profitization, churning out the same formulas musically that sold well in the past, manipulating predictable and shallow emotional responses through a calculated process. That's not art, that's business. And it's draining your society, it's disconnecting your society, it's dehumanizing your society, and it's programming your society. They're emptying the pockets of your imagination, the pockets of your creativity, of your authenticity, and they're leaving you with nothing but a few counterfeit coins which you can use, you know, to buy slogans out of the company vending machine. And you'll have to suffice with that as your only form of expression. Like buying a bag of empty calories, chips or something during your lunch break. And that's supposed to be your nutrition. Listening to this sort of ear candy is just like subsisting on a bag of chips from the snack machine. Your soul is malnourished. Your mind is malnourished. And look at your films. Every film today is a pastiche, a remake, a reboot, a reimagining of something that was made already decades ago in the past. No originality, no ideas, no exploration of the human condition. Movie studios are an assembly line, manufacturing spectacle without substance. And even the elements of the spectacle have been made before. They shouldn't even call them production studios. They should be called reproduction studios. And again, this reflects and it affects the society. Art is being weaponized. It's being instrumentalized, utilized to hypnotize, sterilize, and neutralize the population. They're controlling your emotions. They're controlling your thoughts, your understanding, your perception, how you interact with the world. They don't want a single thought to be in your head that they didn't put there. You understand? They want your brain to be numb. They want your brain to be barren, frigid, incapable of producing anything itself. Entertainers in the West